Welcome in to the USL Pro Weekend Review. My name's Nicholas Murray, very pleased to be joined by David Wagner as we take a look back on the past weekend of action, starting off with Oklahoma City and Sacramento, who both hosted their home openers in front of sellout crowds at Pribble Stadium and Hughes Field. Sacramento obviously grabbed all of the headlines, 20,231 fans, obviously a slight disappointment in the 2-1 loss to the Harrisburg City Islanders, but an outstanding start for the Tower Bridge Battalion and for the franchise as a whole in its new home.
Yeah, fantastic crowd, just an absolutely great atmosphere for them. A little disappointing at home. You know, Sacramento has had some good performances this year, so they'll be a little bit down coming in on that atmosphere. But that's 2 years in a row now that we've seen Harrisburg play a spoiler in a home opener last year in Pittsburgh and this year in Sacramento. But I said it the other week and made a comment that I think Harrisburg was due. They were due to break out, and they just caught them at the wrong time.
Well, Oklahoma City had 4,230 fans on hand at Pribble Stadium. They also fell, somewhat understandably, Orlando City coming in as the defending champion as the first visitor, but really great showing by the Energy Grid, and a really good second half performance, at least I thought, from the Energy overall. Yeah,
it was better. The first half, they were a little disconnected, a little disjointed. I don't think that it was nerves or anything like that, despite the fact that there's a lot of anticipation in the city for the first game. They just didn't look quite as connected. Look, it's still a brand new team. They're still getting used to each other. I think they're going to improve from here and get some home wins under their belt.
Now, a team that also had its home opener, the 19th in team history, was the Rochester Rhinos. And they came out on top 1-0 against the Charleston Battery in front of more than 6,000 fans at Salem Stadium. Back-to-back wins now for Rochester. They're starting to look like their old selves with Coach Bob Lilly back at the helm.
I think so. We talked about how important that win was last week for Rochester. This is another big one. At home, build a little bit of momentum. They're going to come in. They're going to start having some more home games now that the weather's turning a little bit better for them in Rochester. So very important for Rochester, given the fact that they missed the playoffs last year. Get those early wins under their belt and get back to the playoffs is their goal.
Well, they'll get an excellent test this Friday as they face the Richmond Kickers at City Stadium. Richmond, maybe the most impressive performance of the weekend with their 5-1 win against the Dayton Dutch Lions. Matt Delicat with a couple of goals, really back into form it seems like. And this is a Kickers team that now has 13 goals in 5 games. They're going to be very dangerous going forward.
Yeah, things got out of hand a little quickly there in that match. They poured goals upon goals, and obviously it's always tough to when you get a red card like in the match. But Richmond came out very comprehensive performance. They had a couple stutter steps in a few of their games this year, but no doubt about this one. They were really passing the ball well and getting forward, and it showed because they scored a whole bunch of goals. So great performance by the Kickers.
Goal and assist each for Shea Spitz and George Davis IV on his old stomping grounds in Dayton. Very comprehensive win. Well, we'll take another look at all of this weekend's action in this week's USL Pro Weekly podcast, where one of our guests will be USL President Tim Holt. We also hope you'll join us on Friday as we take a look ahead to next weekend's action in the USL Pro Weekend Review, and make sure to follow us on social media at USL Pro on Twitter, and like and follow our Facebook, Google+, and Instagram pages. Until Wednesday and the USL Pro Weekly podcast, for David, my name's Nicholas. Thanks for joining us.